Hello everyone. In the previous video we have learnt about the simple interest, and we said that simple interest is the interest calculated for the entire period on the principal at the same rate. In this particular video we are going to learn about the second type of interest, that is compound interest. What is compound interest? We say that the compound interest is the interest calculated on interest in a simple language. Actually, it is to clear that an interest is calculated for the first period on the principal at the given rate. Then that interest is added to the principal, and whatever the amount comes, that becomes the principal for the next period. On that we calculate the interest and then add it to the first principal, that is the principal which came for the second period. After adding that, whatever we are getting the amount, that becomes the principal for the third period. And so on, when we continue, the total interest calculated for the entire period is known as the compound interest. Let's learn about the formula for the compound interest. Suppose the principal is P and we have R% as the rate per annum. The time is n years. Here we are taking the period as 1 year because the rate is per annum. Then the compound amount, we will calculate the amount first, will be equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 to the power n. We can also write this as P into 1 plus I power n, because we know that we write I as R upon 100. If it is the compound amount, then the compound interest CI will be equal to compound amount minus principal. This is the initial principal, the first principal. And that will be equal to P into 1 plus I power n minus P. If we take this P common, this will be here 1 plus I power n minus 1. This is the way we can calculate the compound amount or the compound interest for the period which is given to us. Now we will be learning about the formula, how this formula is derived. Suppose the principal is P, let the principal be P. The rate of interest is R%, and the total time is equal to n years. When we calculate the simple interest for the first year, simple interest for first year, will that be equal to P into R into T upon 100 or P into I into T? And that will be here P into R upon 100 into 1. So it becomes P into R upon 100. When we collect the simple interest and add it to the principal, that becomes the amount. We can call it first amount because that will become the principal for the second period. We write it as P1. That will be equal to P plus P into R upon 100. If we take P common, this will be P into 1 plus R upon 100. Now this is the principal for the second year. So simple interest for second year will be equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100, because this is the principal, into rate R upon 100 into 1. We can write this as P1 into R into T, which is equal to P into 1 plus R upon 100 into R upon 100. Now what will be the amount after the second year? Amount after second year we can call it as A2. This will be equal to P1 plus I or not? And this P1 here is P into 1 plus R upon 100 plus the interest, that is P into 1 plus R upon 100 into R upon 100. If we take this common, P into 1 plus R by 100, we'll be getting here 1 plus R upon 100 or not? This becomes P into 1 plus R upon 100 whole square. Now if we take this for the third year, it will be as a principal. And then we will calculate the interest on the next period. The amount after 3 years will become P into 1 plus R upon 100 to the power 3 or not. And similarly, if we continue, the compound amount after n years will become P into 1 plus R upon 100 to the power n or not? Yes. We can also write this as P into 1 plus I to the power n. And the compound interest for n years will be equal to compound amount minus principal. Will that be P into 1 plus I to the power n minus P? If we take P common, will it be 1 plus I power n minus 1 or not? So we have learnt now how to derive the formulae for compound amount and compound interest. We can apply them directly to calculate the compound amount and the compound interest for a given period. Before we go to discuss some of the problems to find out or to calculate compound interest and compound amount, we should know about conversion period. What is the meaning of conversion period? Actually, we know when we borrow the money or we invest the money in banks, banks are paying us the interest either half yearly or quarterly. And on that interest, the next period's interest is given. But rate of interest is calculated annually. What we say then? Suppose it is quarterly, then there will be 4 periods and quarterly the interest is compounded. So there will be 4 periods in a year. And also we will find out that the rate of interest which was annual is to be taken according to this particular period. So what we say about the conversion period, that the period at the end of which the interest is calculated or compounded is known as the conversion period. What we do for the conversion period? According to conversion period, the number of periods are to be calculated as I discussed just now. So some of the examples we can say on that. Say suppose the conversion period is 1 day. It means we have to compound the interest daily. Then the number of periods will be 365 in the non-leap year, and in leap year it will be 366. Suppose it is 1 month, or we can say monthly it is compounded, then the number of periods will be 12. If it is quarterly or 3 monthly, then the number of periods will be 4 in a year. And if it is half yearly or semi-annually or 6 monthly, we say, then there will be 2 periods. If it is annually or 12 monthly or 1 year, then we say the number of periods is only 1. Now how to calculate the rate of interest and the n? See here, suppose you have been given the rate of interest R% and that is per annum, and you have to go for half yearly. Means every half yearly the interest is compounded. Then the rate we have to calculate according to the 6 month or half yearly. It means we have to divide the rate by 2 and multiply the time by 2, because there will be 2 half years in a year. Similarly, for quarterly, we will divide the rate which is per annum by 4 and multiply the time by 4 to make it in number of quarters. And likewise, we will be applying this thing in the particular problems. Now we discuss some problems on finding the compound amount and compound interest. And here the first one is, find the compound interest on rupees 6,000 at 5% per annum for 2 years compounded annually. Looking at the problem, we find that the principal here is rupees 6,000. The rate of interest has been given as 5%, that is per annum, and it is compounded also annually. So directly we can write the time n is equal to 2 years. To find out the compound amount, we have the formula P into 1 plus R upon 100 power n. Or we can write P into 1 plus I power n. Here if we see R is 5%, it means I will be equal to 5 upon 100, or this is 0.05. If we apply it here, this will be 6,000 into 1 plus 0.05, n is 2. This is equal to 6,000 into 1.05 whole square. And we know the square of 1.05, that is 1.1025. If we multiply them, we are getting 6615. This is the compound amount. But we have to find out the compound interest. So we know that compound interest is equal to compound amount minus the principal. It means here it will be 6615 minus 6,000, and that is equal to rupees 615, which is the answer to the problem. The next problem here is, find the compound interest on rupees 4,000 at 10% per annum for 1.5 years, compounded half yearly, or we say semi-annually. See what we find, that the principal is rupees 4,000. The rate of interest has been given as 10% per annum. But since we are to compound it half yearly, it means we should get the rate also according to half yearly. So we have to make the conversion, and then we can say that is equal to 10 upon 2 half yearly, or we can say 5% half yearly. This is known as a conversion. Same way, we have to convert the time also. Time you have been given here is 1.5 years. But we have to convert it to half years. How many half years? This is equal to 3 half years. It means in this case we have to divide the rate by 2 and multiply the time by 2. So we write here n is equal to 3. And now we can calculate the compound amount and interest the same way as we have done earlier. So we can write here compound amount is equal to P into 1 plus I power n. What is I? We have been given R is 5% half yearly. It means I will be equal to 5 upon 100, or we can write 0.05. Applying this here, we find this is 4,000 is P into 1 plus 0.05 whole power 3. That is equal to 4,000 into 1.05 whole cube, which is equal to 4000 into 1.157625, which is the cube of 1.05. And when we multiply them, it comes as 4630.50, which is the compound amount. And then we can write compound interest will be equal to compound amount minus principal, which is equal to 4630.50 minus 4000. This is equal to rupees 630.50. This is the answer to this problem. So like this we can find out the compound amount, compound interest, we can find out the time, we can also find out the rate by applying the formula for compound amount or compound interest and solve the problems. In the next video we will be learning about effective rate, what is the meaning of effective rate and how to calculate it. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any comments or doubts, leave them in the comment box and I will get back to you.